Hey guys, welcome back. And then now that that's off, I'm going to bring this and set it on the bow of my boat. Okay, I'm kind of evaluating the best way to place this, and I think what I'm gonna have to do, because it's not gonna match my existing layout, especially with how long the shaft is sticking off the side of the boat over there. If you guys are wondering what's going on with my boat deck, I've been doing a custom boat deck build, and if you guys are new to the channel and you haven't seen that, I will leave a playlist link down in the description below, and I can show you how I got this far. But unfortunately, I undid this part to install this trolling motor, but I'm going to have to go ahead and take this part off. That way I can have easier installation. So I'm gonna knock that out. Okay, I have my deck somewhat disassembled. I'm leaving this right here for now. It's not secured or anything. Keep it right there for reference when I figure out where to place this trolling motor. Looks like I'm gonna have to install and make some kind of mounting plate that the trolling motor is gonna sit on. In order to get this trolling motor to work, I have to remove my front light plug right here, and I'm gonna have to relocate that somewhere. So another step in the process I wasn't expecting, but I'm gonna go ahead and get that removed. What I did was I took an old pizza box, made a template. I'm going to create a mounting plate for this to mount to, and it's going to be coordinated around any kind of boat parts and light parts. That way we don't have any conflicts with that, and this will elevate it up off the boat just a little bit to help it work better. So I'm going to cut this out and get a board ready. So I just happen to have this board lying around, and it is actually the perfect width dimension that I need. So I'll just make a cut right there, and we'll use this, and then I'll have to shape it a little bit for the boat parts. So I'll have that coming up here in a sec. Okay, as you can see, I need to cut a notch around this right here. So I'm going to try to get that traced out. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is what I came up with. There we go. Got that elevated up. The light's no longer an issue. And this front part of the boat's not an issue. I have the head, it's kind of off to the side. I think it's okay, it doesn't stick out too far. I want to be able to open up my deck lid, which is right here. So overall, I think it's going to sit right there. Okay, this mounting process has become somewhat of a pain, but I temporarily screwed my mounting plate down. Now I'm going to drill some holes that will bolt the whole assembly in place. The way that it's placed over the boat, there's only going to be 3 bolts that are going to be used, so that kind of sucks. I don't really know how else to do it. These are some of the things you might run into when you're messing with all this. So one of the driving points that made me only have 3 holes was that the shaft has to clear the boat by 1.5 inches. So that only makes your back holes usable, and the front holes you can't even use unless you have like a perfectly shaped boat that allows you to do that. Okay, here's the mounting plate right here. I'm going to pop these 2 screws I put in. I'll put those back here in a little bit, but I want to paint it black. That way it's not too much of an eyesore. I have a bunch of spray paint in the garage, so I just grabbed whatever I had, and I'm going to paint this black to try to hide it. House right now, so this might turn into a 2-day, maybe a 3-day event, but anyways, it gave me enough time to let this mounting plate dry that I made. I just painted it black, whatever I had lying around the garage. Came out pretty good. I'm gonna get this mounted and then mount the trolling motor to it. So let's get started. We gotta put these rubber washers down. It'll give some cushion for the trolling motor. Like I said, I only have 3. I really want this 4th one. So what I might do is kind of screw it into place with a screw, because the bolt's not gonna hold it. So let's put that into place. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, that's what it looks like, and here's my jerry rig one. I slightly recessed the screw down inside of it. It's pretty in place, it's not going anywhere, and then these will be bolted in. Like I mentioned yesterday, this has to be about 1.5 inches from your boat lip there. I ballparked it. I think it's pretty close. It's a pretty hard project to do by yourself, so I think I did a pretty good job ballparking it. I would definitely recommend a friend or a spouse to help you when you're trying to do all the mounting of this trolling motor. I imagine a lot of you guys have probably ran into this or will run into it. These stock bolts that come with the trolling motor, they're not long enough to account for the washer spacer and the mounting block I just put in, which I imagine most boats need that mounting block. I've never looked at it, but I know there is a mounting block that you can buy. I think it's from Minn Kota. I'm just cheap and already spent a fortune on the trolling motor and didn't really want to. So a couple longer bolts from a hardware store is definitely going to be a lot cheaper than that block would be. So, or actually I'm sending the missus. She's already going to Home Depot. She's going to get maybe about a ½ inch longer because it's right at maximum length right now. So a ½ inch should do it. In the meantime, I'm going to look into mounting this header sensor. Look for a good spot that is out of the way and not going to get stepped on, especially when I'm getting in and out of the boat right here. So it probably won't end up on this side. I'll probably think about over there. So I'm going to get started reading the directions and figure that out. Okay, I was doing a lot of research on how to mount this heading sensor, and a lot of people mount it by their steering wheel or even in the back of their boat. And I'm not going to go into the logistics of my boat too much, but you also should keep it away from aluminum, or aluminum's okay, but metal's bad. And then keep it away from electronics. And I think the spot I described earlier, behind the trolling motor, will actually end up being a good spot for it. Also, reading through the directions, you have to hook it up to 12 volt and you have to provide a fuse for it. I think I have all that stuff lying around. I have 12 volt power up here I can splice into, and it would tie into my 12 volt electronics at the front of the boat. Can't tie into the trolling motor wires because that's going to be 24 volt setup. So keep that in mind when you're messing with this. Now that I got all that figured out, let's get it installed. If you're mounting it in a location where the wiring can go below the deck, then you're going to want a drill bit to drill a hole for the wire to go through. If you're not going to drill, there's a notch right there, which makes for side outlet wire installation right there. So there's two options. I'm going to go with the drilling, and I'm going to get it down underneath. I found an old hole from the last trolling motor. I'm going to just open it up a little bit and use it. That way I can cover up some of these old holes. Pretty easy. Unfortunately, to feed all this wire through the hole, I'm gonna have to cut the zip ties, feed it there's probably like 10 feet of it. Luckily I have some zip ties. I'll zip tie it back up when I'm done, and for now I'll just start manually feeding it through this hole. This might take a while. That's a lot of wire. Oh, first issue, you got a tag in the way. I'm going to try to roll it up and push it through. And what this tag says is 12 volt wire connection only. Now that all that wire's run through the bottom there, your arrow needs to be towards the front, and your heading needs to be as straight with the boat as possible. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. That would be about right there. Comes with these two screws right here. We're going to screw that in. The reason I went so slow with that drill was I didn't want to over torque or crack the unit or anything like that, but I got it nice and snug there on the carpet. So that's pretty much installed. Now I'm going to zip tie all that excess wire back together, and then I need to look into splicing that into the 12-volt system. I'm going to disconnect my battery. My Garmin electronics already has a built-in fuse, so I'm going to splice into that. Is for my Garmin screen, and splice the Minn Kota into it. It'll give it that 12-volt battery connection. I don't know if some of you guys will have the same scenario here, but that's what worked for me. So yeah, I need to go back there and disconnect my 12-volt battery before we go any further. And then I have some splicing connectors that should be able to connect right into that. Okay guys, I have this 3-way splicer here, which is going to make this easy. If you guys don't have this, it might be a little bit more difficult for you, but I just happen to do this because I'm doing a lot of wiring projects on this boat. And if you guys want to see that stuff and you're interested, like I said, I got a playlist to this deck build that I'm doing on my boat. The trolling motor is just another step in this process, so go check that out, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get this going. Okay, took me a while, but I got that slid over the positive wire. I'm going to stick this positive wire in here. I'm going to crimp this metal down, shut the cap, and we should be hooked up. Okay, I think I have power restored back. Let's give this thing a test. There she is, she's working. She's trying to pair though. I don't want her to pair up yet. There, that shut her off. Okay, one last thing. I'm gonna test my Garmin fish finder out to make sure it still has power. And after that, I will tape everything up. There we go. Okay, that was a chore right there, but got her done. And now the bolts are here. I'm gonna bolt the trolling motor to the boat now. Can't remember if I told you guys this or not, but I unscrewed this. That way I could access screwing in this bolt right here. I'm gonna put that back together now. Next up, I'm going to put the covers, the side covers, back on. Something I just found out, it's not really good news, is that this is a universal trolling motor plug, right? Well, you need an adapter, unless it plugs into a Lowrance. I'm not really for sure. But you need an adapter for a Garmin, and I think it costs like 40 bucks. But you don't get all the fancy features that a Garmin has, like down view and side view. So I think what I'm going to do is tuck this away and hide it, not use it. I'm going to have to install my old transducer on the trolling motor. So I need to get online and see if that was a major cost difference. So I'm going to tuck this away for now, and I'm going to drill holes for the power supply and the foot pedal plug here. I'm going to try to get it below the deck. So let's get the drill ready and we'll knock out some holes here. Also, I'm going to try to utilize existing holes from the last trolling motor that was up here. thought about this a lot more, and this shaft slides up and down, so there's no way to put the cord on the shaft like I did with my old trolling motor. My old trolling motor, the cord ran down the shaft and zip tied to it. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just have to go through and get the universal plug, and then I'm going to lose down view and side view. That's something I can consider in the future fixing, especially if one day I ever go to Panoptics, which, I mean, that'll be the day. But maybe I could build a custom PVC mount that can house all that. But I think for now I need to test out the universal plug and see if I can get sufficient sonar out of that. I could always look into mounting this transducer in the back. That really kind of throws you off when you're scouting up front here, so I'm not sure what to do. I'm gonna do some more research on this, and I'll update you guys later in the video on what the best solution is for this. A lot of trials and setbacks today, and got distracted with other projects around the house again. It is the weekend. I'm trying to get some stuff done before the work week, but I'm gonna stop right here and pick up tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. It's been a little while since I've worked on this project because I had a major setback with this trolling motor box that I had, and you guys saw that earlier. I've gone ahead and I've made a whole new trolling motor box that is a part of my custom deck build for my boat. Where I had to spend a while to remake this, and so it kind of put this video on hold. I got it made now, and now the pedal is ready to be mounted to it. So let's get that installed. One item before we install the foot pedal is I went ahead and ordered a universal trolling motor plug, and there's like thousands of them out there, so you have to be really careful on the one you order and make sure you order it for your specific fish finder. Mine's a Garmin Striker SV Plus, and so I went ahead and ordered that cord so it can easily adapt, and I'll show you the end of it right now. So this is the sonar plug, and I bought the universal cord for it, and it'll hook up to this, and then the end of the other cord that I bought will hook up to the Garmin. All right, let's get started on the foot pedal. There's how the trolling motor sits from this angle. I put the trolling motor down for now. These are the power supply cords coming off the trolling motor. What I'm gonna do is hook it up to this 60 amp trolling motor disconnect switch. It's kind of a fail-safe if you want to disconnect power. Alright guys, I did the wiring off camera. I just want to give you a rundown of what I did. There's the trolling motor cables right there. Used a butt connector to tie it up right there where the black electrical tape is. I used the electrical tape just to ensure that it didn't come apart. I used heat shrink wrap and then transferred it to 8-gauge wire, and then it comes in here. It has the positive bypass to the 60 amp breaker. The 60 amp breaker has a kill switch, which is a nice feature. You can just put it back right there, but it'll also do that when it pops. And then the positive keeps running to the positive end of the first battery, and this secondary wire right here, the negative goes to the positive on the second battery. And then you have the negative side of this battery, which has the negative end of the trolling motor wire. So hopefully all that makes sense to you. I also have a couple other wires on here. I have, sorry for the rust, I need to swap that out, but I have a trolling motor charging plug right here. Also installed a voltmeter just to keep track of my trolling motor batteries. And I powered that to a switch. So yeah, that's a breakdown of the wiring and the batteries that feed the trolling motor. Okay, this is like a shipping red washer. You don't need this, so you won't be using that. This right here is a shipping spacer. You also will not need this, so you discard that also. Okay, the pin is in it right here. Do not lose that. It's kind of free sliding in there, so do not lose that. All right, so your pin's gonna slide in that slot, and you're going to want to put this on with the lettering facing out, like so. There we go. Take your washer and your bolt, tighten that down. Need to get a 9/16 inch socket wrench. Okay, this next part, you need an open-ended wrench. If that'll fit in there. And then a flathead screwdriver. I feel like it's easier to hold the propeller and to tighten this down like so. I have a socket wrench here. I'm going to try that. So it's very adamant about not over tightening to damage the prop. So at snug it says turn 1/4 inch at snug. So I'm not sure why it wanted me to use this flathead. It was way easier just to hold the prop. It was just trying not to have this prop spin on you like so, but all you gotta do is put your hand on it and hold it. So I think she's snug and on there as she's supposed to be. At least I hope she is. All right, we are about, let's call it 75% done. I'm not by any means an expert at doing this. This job was super tough and really hard to you know, make everything fit custom onto your boat. So I think most of you guys are going to run into problems installing this, whether it's custom mounting block or the sonar issue. I can no longer use our side view. So I need that cord to come into the mail so I can hook up the universal sonar. So I'm waiting on that still. And then I need to take this out on the water and sync it all up and program it. I might play with it. I might bring the boat out and play with it a little bit more, but I'm going to end the video right here. During my outro, I will show you the installation of that universal